Welcome to the first episode of the Pro Wrestling Podcast. This is a new thing I want to try to do on the channel. It's going to cover WWE news, it's going to cover rumors, results, and all of that good stuff. On this episode, we got Raw and SmackDown results from this week. We also got backstage news on Tyson Kidd. What's he doing with WWE now? We got rumor about John Cena and who's going to feud with. We also got WWE announced Kara Hojo's new name and talked about her elbow drop. And also TNA Slammiversary opening video has a lot of WWE talent in it. So let's start things off with the Monday Night Raw review. It opened up with Roman Reigns coming out, and he talked about versing Strowman at Great Balls of Fire in an ambulance match, and he talked about how he will defeat Strowman and then become Universal Champion, no matter who the champion is, because this is his yard now. Braun Strowman then an ambulance backed up into the arena area, and Roman Reigns kind of looked at it strange and walked over to it and opened the doors and looked around, and he was wondering, where's Braun at? Because he thought Braun Strowman was going to be in the back of the ambulance. The crowd starts chanting, "Yes, yes, yes," and Strowman blasts through Roman Reigns, sending him into the barricade near the entranceway off the ramp, and then he picked him up, tossed him onto the entrance ramp. Then Strowman went up on the entrance ramp, and Roman Reigns hit a Superman punch, didn't knock down Strowman, went for another one. Strowman grabbed him and then flung him into the ambulance. Roman hits the side of the ambulance and falls down to the ground. Everybody is chanting, "Yes, yes, yes." Everybody's saying, "Thank you, Strowman." Everybody's chanting one more time. Strowman goes down, picks up Roman, tosses him back in the ambulance, closes the doors. The ambulance drives off, and Strowman gets on the entranceway and does his roar and puts his hands up, and all of the WWE Universe puts their hands up while he does it. Up next, we had Elias Samson in the ring. Now, I liked what happened here because Elias Samson was just about to sing. He was starting to tune up his guitar, and it was going to be Elias Samson and Cesaro and Sheamus singing like a trio, and then the Hardy Boys music hit and they came out. Everybody was just cheering, and then Finn Balor came out, and they had a six-man tag team match. It was Balor and the Hardy Boys versus Elias Samson and Cesaro and Sheamus. Now, during this match, on commentary, they had the new actor for the Transformers movie. Now, I didn't mind it at first because they just talked for a little bit, but then this guy talked the whole time. So there was no commentary for this match. They didn't talk about anything that happened during the match. They didn't build up any superstars during the match. They didn't talk about the rivalries, because Balor and Elias Samson will probably fight at Great Balls of Fire, and we already know the Hardys are going to verse Cesaro and Sheamus, and they did nothing to really build up those matches with commentary. They they just had this guy talk and talk and talk and talk about what he's done as an actor, what his future projects are, what movies he would like to do in the future. He talked about having Sheamus on one of his movies or whatever, and I just didn't really like that he was on the show just talking the whole time. We really didn't get any commentary for this match, and Michael Cole was grunting the whole time and going, huh, ooh, that's cool, huh, just like that the whole time. And I didn't like the feel of that match. After that, there was a vignette thing that played of Goldust, and he said that he's going to debut his new motion picture, The Shattered Truth. Now, I listened to JD from NY206. Go watch his channel. He does Raw reviews and SmackDown reviews, and he does News and Rumors, and he does pay-per-view reviews and all that stuff. And he said, and I agree with him on this, he said that if Goldust is going to be if Goldust is going to return to the old Goldust back in the Attitude Era, then, he needs the old rig, the old wig, the old robe. He needs, I think it was his wife at that time, but he needs that one girl that he had at that side that one time. He needs to be the old Goldust that was just strange and just weird and made you feel uncomfortable, if they're going to go with this whole golden age. But anyways, Goldust comes out. He's got a new Titantron. He has this personal cameraman that's following him with this gold camera. They get in the ring, and then R-Truth comes out. He's marching to the ring. He doesn't do his song, What's Up, with the microphone. He gets into the ring, and immediately Goldust attacks him. And he hits him with a right hand. R-Truth goes down. Goldust goes to the outside, takes R-Truth's arm, smashes it against the ring post, and that's it. Goldust gets back in the ring, does this little breath pose on the corner, and that's it. And then they cut the commercial, and then they come back, and it's Miz TV with the Ball family. Now, after about a minute or two, I fast forward past this because I just got bored and I did not care. I don't care. And then they ended up having Dean Ambrose come out with Slater and Rhino, and it was Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel and The Miz versus Dean Ambrose and Heath Slater and Rhino. And did not care about this match. I knew The Miz and Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel would win, because why in the world would Heath Slater and Rhino win a match? They haven't won a match since November? I think it's the last time they even won a single match, period. So basically, there's just enhancement talent. So they're trying to put it over Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel and The Miz. And they changed the entourage to the Miz Tourage. Didn't really care about the match. Like I said, I knew The Miz and his group would win. Then we saw Enzo Amore come out, and he started getting choked up. He started getting teary eyed. He was talking about Big Cass, and how he was trying to get in contact with Big Cass all week, and he kept getting voicemail, and he was just upset about what had happened over the past month with Big Cass attacking him and backstage and turning on him. And anyways, Enzo Amore calls out Big Cass. Big Cass comes out to Enzo's music. And I didn't really like that because for the past 2 months, they knew that Big Cass was going to turn on Enzo. So for the past 2 months, they've been planning for Big Cass to turn on Enzo. But they cannot get entrance music for Big Cass. They can't make a new entrance music in that amount of time. That just, I don't know. That just makes no sense for me for him to come out to Enzo's music. It just didn't make any sense. Anyways, Big Cass enters the ring. He starts looking at Enzo, and Enzo's talking about how he doesn't want the bond to break. They haven't became tag team champions yet. And then Big Cass said, I feel sorry for attacking you. I feel bad for what I've done. Then Big Cass, extends out his hand. And at that moment, when Big Cass extended his hand to shake Enzo's hand, I knew it was a setup. From that point, I knew that Enzo should not shake his hand. I was yelling at the TV. I was just mad because I knew that Big Cass was just going to end up turning on him again. So Enzo shakes his hand. They leave the ring. They go to the top of the entrance ramp, and they do their little pose where Enzo has his back turned and his hand up in the air like he's holding the microphone, and Big Cass has his finger up in the air, and they're getting ready to say you can't teach that. And Big Cass grabs Enzo's hand, takes his arm and pulls him towards him and clotheslines him. And he bends down and he says, "You can't teach that." Then he picks Enzo up and yells at the fans while he has Enzo up in the air. He says, "You want Enzo? You got Enzo." And throws him down the entrance ramp. Which Enzo landed very, very badly. I haven't heard about anything about him being hurt, which is good, but it didn't look like he took that fall all too good. Seth Rollins, there's like a thing that plays that says WWE 2K18, Seth Rollins next. And I thought, Seth Rollins is going to come out and talk about the video game, and then Bray Wyatt's going to come out and confront him. But instead, we got ourselves a 3-minute Seth Rollins match with Curt Hawkins. Seth Rollins defeated Curt Hawkins. It was just... it just didn't... I didn't really care because I knew Curt Hawkins was going to lose. Bray Wyatt comes up on the Titantron after the match. Says that he's a god, and I wasn't really paying attention to what he said, but he's like, he's a god, he's going to destroy Seth Rollins, and he will meet his maker on July 9th. Now, I really I think that I know this isn't going to happen. This is going to be a long shot. But I'm hoping that at Great Balls of Fire, Bray Wyatt defeats Seth Rollins. Because Seth Rollins can't really... It won't hurt Rollins if he loses to Bray Wyatt. But it will hurt Bray Wyatt even more than he already is if Seth Rollins wins. Which I think Seth Rollins is going to end up winning. And he's going to move on to bigger and better things. And then Bray Wyatt's just going to feud with somebody else and will lose to them. Anywho, Brock Lesnar pulls up in a limo backstage. Paul Heyman greets him as he walks out of the limo, and Paul Heyman says, "It's time," and they walk towards the ring, the entrance way, because they're backstage, but they walk towards where the stupid selves come out. Paul cuts a commercial break. They come back. Paul Heyman's in the ring. And he says, Samoa Joe doesn't fear Brock Lesnar, but now he should. And says that Brock Lesnar will take Samoa Joe to Suplex City, and he will have 5 of them, and he will win. And then he says, here's the current Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar comes out. He's standing on the entranceway, and he's getting ready to do the part where he throws his arms down and the fireworks go off, but he puts his arms up. Samoa Joe comes from behind, hits him with a forearm in the back of the neck, and Brock goes down. Samoa Joe then tries to lock the Coquina Clutch in. He can't really get Brock down on the ground and lock it in. Brock Lesnar's trying to fight out of it. They smash into the little LED board where it says Great Balls of Fire, and Joe still hasn't locked in. Lesnar's turning purple in the face, and then the Revival and Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows come out, and they're pulling Samoa Joe off of Brock Lesnar, and I actually can't wait for this match. I wanted this match. This was a dream match that I really wanted to see. But when Samoa Joe won that Fatal 5-Way at Extreme Rules, I thought this was going to be just like a Brock Lesnar, like 16 suplexes at 5 done, whatever. And I actually think this is going to be a good match, and I actually think that Samoa Joe might win the Universal Championship from Brock Lesnar. Samoa Joe might actually beat Brock Lesnar. I've heard that this might be a one and done. I've heard that this might be a long rivalry. I don't know. I would like to see this in a long drawn out rivalry, but it would probably be one and done and Lesnar will win, but I could see Samoa Joe taking the title from Brock Lesnar. Up next, we had Neville versus Lince Dorado. Now, I was actually shocked to see Lince Dorado because I did not think he was even signed to a contract. We saw him in the Cruiserweight division, Cruiserweight Classic, and then we saw him 1 or 2 Monday Night Raws after the Cruiserweight Classic, and then he was gone. And that was back in June of last year. We haven't seen him for a full year. Even on 205 Live. And we're supposed to believe that he can at least have a competitive match with Neville, that he can defeat Neville. So from the minute I saw that he was versing Lince Dorado, I knew that Neville was going to win. This was a 2-minute match, so the cruiserweights get, they at least they got some time after the match, but Neville puts the Ring of Saturn, puts Lince Dorado in the Ring of Saturn. Lince Dorado taps out. Neville wins. Titus O'Neil comes out, says that Akira Tozawa will take the championship away from Neville at Great Balls of Fire. I don't really care about the whole cruiserweight division. There's nothing in the cruiserweight division that interests me. I kind of enjoyed the Austin Aries and Neville feud, but I don't really care for the cruiserweight division at all anymore. It's just boring, and then they get like 5 minutes every week on Raw, and that's supposed to be one of the main shows. But I went to I've watched 205 every once in a while, but I went to SmackDown on the 20th, June 20th, and we watched, I got to see 205 live after SmackDown, and 205 live, even though every match was about 3 to 4 minutes long, it was better than a whole Monday Night Raw. Because this Monday Night Raw, there was only 3 things that were good. Well, 4. Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns, Big Cass and Enzo, Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar, and Sasha Banks at the end. Because she won the women's gauntlet match to challenge Alexa Bliss. Which all the Raw women were in there, which I actually liked. But all of those, even the Hardy Boys were on this show, and it just wasn't good. Monday Night Raw, yet again, just, they don't give us a reason to care about the show and the storylines, and because what is Elias Sampson and Finn Balor fighting over? What is Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins fighting over? It just makes no sense. They're feuding over nothing. Just like Roman Reigns when he was feuding with Undertaker. They were feuding over nothing. They just haven't given us a reason to care about Finn Balor and Elias Sampson and Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins. At least make Bray Wyatt believable that he can defeat Seth Rollins. It's probably going to be another squash match, and Seth Rollins is going to win. I looked it up a couple weeks ago, and on average, a Bray Wyatt match lasts 5 minutes. That's average. On average, Bray Wyatt match lasts 5 minutes. And he has a hell of a lot more losses than he does wins. A hell of a lot more. And we're supposed to really care about this guy. They were trying to make it seem like Bray Wyatt could defeat Brock Lesnar before Samoa Joe was named number one contender. If Bray Wyatt can't defeat, a Finn Balor, a Roman Reigns, a Seth Rollins, heck, if Kurt Hawkins faced Bray Wyatt, I'm pretty sure Kurt Hawkins would win. And Kurt Hawkins loses more than Bray Wyatt does. It's just we're supposed to take this guy, Bray Wyatt, for real, but he just loses all the time. It's hard to care and get behind the guy when he just loses all the time. I remember a month ago he lost to a big boot from somebody. He lost to a clothesline one time. Just stuff like that. He's basically a jobber. Bray Wyatt is basically a jobber, and that kind of sucks because he went from being a superstar and a top guy on SmackDown, and now on Monday Night Raw, it's just there's nothing. He's just doing nothing. He keeps losing all the time, and it was just I was so happy when he won the WWE Championship at Elimination Chamber. That really made me happy because that was a long time overdue for Bray Wyatt. And all the momentum he had on SmackDown immediately just got sucked out of him when he went to Monday Night Raw. It's just, I don't understand why they couldn't keep him on SmackDown. A, he was better on SmackDown, and B, Eric Rowan actually had something to do. And Eric Rowan fit in. Eric Rowan is not a solo, he doesn't fit in with the solo competitors on SmackDown. It would be better if it was Bray and Rowan as a team, and that's what it was until they just all of a sudden decided, we're going to split them up and put Bray on Raw and keep Eric Rowan on SmackDown. Now, after they put Bray Wyatt on Raw, I thought they were going to have Bo Dallas become part of the Wyatt family. Because Bo Dallas is Bray Wyatt's real-life brother, and Bray Wyatt actually said around WrestleMania time in an interview that he would love for Bo Dallas to become part of the Wyatt family. And I thought that's what they were going to do, but then they put Bo and Axel with The Miz. So I just really I don't know I just don't know what to think of Bray Wyatt anymore. He's just, as JD from NY206 puts it, he's the eater of pins. He's getting pinned all the time. It's just sad to see that he's that disposable. Anyways, let's go to SmackDown. This was a much better show, like usual. Even though this is only 2 hours and Raw is 3 hours. Daniel Bryan opened the show. He was talking about how tonight is a big night, how Naomi's going to defend her championship against Lana, and Carmella is going, well, not Carmella, Natalya, Charlotte, Becky, and Tamina are going to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match for the women's Money in the Bank briefcase. Carmella comes out, explains yet again that Money in the Bank ladder match is no disqualification. She didn't break any rules because there are none, which there aren't. Daniel Bryan said she makes a valid point, but it's going to leave it up to the WWE Universe. And he turned to the fans and said, do you want me to give this contract to Carmella right now and cancel the match for tonight? And everybody's like, no. So then James Ellsworth gets in Daniel Bryan's face and says he can beat him one-on-one, and goes on and on and on about how Daniel Bryan's become soft and how he's controlled by the WWE Universe, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, Daniel Bryan says, Ellsworth, I'm not going to ban you from ringside, I'm going to ban you from the arena. So Ellsworth gets taken out of the arena by some security guards. So Carmella ended up getting mad and stomping and kind of crying because her plan was for Ellsworth to win her the contract basically again. So after that, the Usos come out and they talk about how the Hype Bros and the New Day are not big challenges for him. The Hype Bros come out. This was actually a good match. I thought it was going to be kind of a squash and that the Usos were going to win easy, but this was actually a pretty